I was so surprised that Nekroz dominated this event. Said no one ever. Let's get to this recap. Of course, you saw Yusenju, Ritual Beast. Clearly, they didn't do too well because the top 32 was 22 Nekroz, 6 Cleave Force, and 4 Burning Abyss. Let us continue. Yusenju was playing Fossil Dino in the main deck. I don't particularly care too much for this because it's another monster. You have to hope to draw it. And I just think playing the Yusenjus as your primary monsters is more intelligent. We don't have Thunder King at 3 here, which kind of sucks, and you saw some people play Thunder King. But I just don't care for it being at 1. Have a lot of back row, like Mistake and Mind Crush and things that shit on Nekroz. Ritual Beast we played, obviously. It was like in the earlier rounds. And I believe there was one time where a guy actually OTK'd a Nekroz player. It was cute, and for a few seconds I thought maybe my assessment of Ritual Beast was incorrect. Now, as cute as these motherfuckers are, they get extremely outpaced. On to the Nekroz. As expected, you saw some interesting tech. DD Warrior Lady, primarily because of Search Board Rhoda, which we have 3 of, Shadal Dragon, and Farfa, because you have Armageddon Knight, which is also searchable by Rhoda. You even have Mathematician to send something like Tackle Crusader. Oh my god, that has never, ever, ever, ever been done before. That is so innovative. And Glow Up Bulb, because we have that and the OCG does not. But other than that, it was the same crap. I'm assuming that the people that played Decisive Armor only played 1. Valkyrie saving lives and shit, and actually being summoned to draw some cards. Cleave Forts, apparently they're back to the traps now because you can't OTK Nekroz when they have Valkyries. I feel like Cleave Forts are a really good matchup against Nekroz. Of course, if you're playing like a hate-centric version of Cleave Forts, I'm talking about playing the Mind Crusher, playing the Max C's, playing the Emptiness and Skill Drain and Shed Ride, and even Veiler if you want to do that. I think that much hate would put the clan to shame. Teched out Teller Knights. I mean, you saw Rhapsody and Berserk do what the fuck the card's for, and the reason why people play it in the extra deck as a DD Crow in the extra deck that you don't have to have in your main deck because it's an extra deck card. Thunder King is at 1, but it was clutch. You just happened to summon it, and they didn't have a way to put it face down or something. Mind Crush is probably one of the better side options, or even just the main deck options. You've been playing this shit, or some people's been playing Mind Crush main even before Nekroz, and Mind Crush is pretty decent against Nekroz, but it all depends on when you activate the Mind Crush against Nekroz, because if you hit the wrong card, they could probably just search for the same card that you probably called, but they didn't have in their hand because they knew that Mind Crush was coming. And of course, Shared Ride. As unfortunate as it seems to some people, if you want to combat this Nekroz problem, you're going to have to tech your deck out. That is the entire point of formats. Formats are built around 1 or 2 decks. Nekroz just happens to be that deck right now, at least before that shit gets maimed and neutered in a few months. Hopefully. Playing your deck the way that you are playing it right now ain't going to work, because you are more likely going to play against Nekroz, surprisingly, with Brio being old tour guide secret rare price. It wasn't that surprising that many people had it, but that was a lot of money. There was some cute plays that I figured to highlight. Round 7, game 2, I believe it was the Telenite Mirror. One guy had summoned Triver, another guy played Oasis, bringing back his Max C. You should know why this is awesome, right? He gets his Oasis and his Max C. I thought that was cute. Round 8, game 1. I believe this was the Nekroz mirror match. Guy Nekroz cycled Clausulus, banishing the Djinn Releaser. Clausulus has like 2300 defense, just sitting there. I thought that was cute. Top 32, Cleaford versus Nekroz. The Cleaford guy had 2 emptiness, which is really good. And apparently the Nekroz guy did not have space or something. But he had Book of Eclipse. You know the Cleave player, you know what they do, right? They summon the Cleave, equip, sacrifice, set some stuff. That's a pretty good opener. Book of Eclipse, sacrifice gets sent to the graveyard, emptiness gets destroyed, the salt. And I believe the second game is when Denku Sekka came out. Oh my god, yes, that card still fucking exists. Now, some people was probably surprised about Denku Sekka, but I had it in the back of my mind. It's going to be eventually used, and it's going to be difficult depending on the deck that you're playing. For like Cleave, for instance. If you don't just immediately flip your shit up before Denku Sekka is even a thing, he probably didn't even know Denku Sekka was being played. That's not even like a skill debate. That's just having a card that basically shits on my entire strategy. Clevefort's a good back to playing the trash and shit, but then in Nekroz, I'm going to just drop Denku Sekka. And even if people would say I would just play the shit in response, that might have ended up fucking him up too. It's not even like diverse, because we know the deck to beat, but we don't know what exactly the Nekroz deck is going to be playing outside of the obligatory Nekroz cards. And that makes it a bit difficult, because you could be having this strategy against them, or whatever, be like, yeah, I got this or whatever, and that could be a whole lot of back row, but then they'll just drop Denku Sekka and you'd be like, well, I didn't see this shit coming. Or if you don't go that route, you'd be playing something like, Maxi or Effect Veiler or something. I'm surprised I did not see Artifact Lancia, because Burning Abyss, their stuff get banished, it doesn't, and if you play Lancia's effect in response to Trishula, it doesn't banish. Speaking of that, Burning Abyss and Nekroz. Nekroz has Brio. Surprisingly, Brio has an effect if it's summoned. It really just bounces 2 cards from the extra deck. Well, that was summoned from the extra deck to the extra deck. For free. Burning Abyss wants to summon Dante's as often as possible. Get the pluses and advantage and whatever. And Brio basically says, get out of here. On top of that, they have things like Valkyries, which Burning Abyss cannot interact with. And Burning Abyss don't exactly kill you in short order. And Nekroz have Trishula. Even if the Burning Abyss player Fire Lakes you, it's not the end of the world. And then on top of that, there is Trishula from the hand. That negates a targeted effect. And then there is the Jins that also hurt Burning Abyss. Yeah, that kind of sucks. So this is just the beginning. I suppose it would be nice for Nekroz to pop up a lot more, be more frequent, so you could just focus your deck on beating Nekroz. But that's not going to happen, because no matter what region you are in, there's going to be somebody that's playing something else. If you tweak your deck just to beat Nekroz, you're going to be weak to something else, and I fucking hate that shit. Nekroz are probably going to suffer the same fate as it did in the OCG. We have everything more or less outside the Elder God bitch, but 22 Nekroz in the top 32. And this is literally days after the set was released. But that is my recap. So I'd like to thank y'all for watching. Appreciate that shit. If you want to support me or do something nice, all I ask is spend literally seconds out your day and click an advertisement. That money that I make from you doing that primarily goes to me paying my end of rent to live in this motherfucker. And I'll be grateful and appreciative if you could take some time to help a brother out. Be ready. You're going to see a whole lot of blue. And I ain't talking about crypto.